this then is rhetoric enacted in local context for change. Very, very amazing in the whole intricacy of all of it. Tell you, though, a little bit about the life in the Norris community before the Norris Community Club. Separatists, of course, rarely equal. Though the community thrived, a lack of resources and access to amenities enjoyed by Commerce's white population certainly took its toll. And this went on well after integration. The communities with small amount of resources, this is important to know. Though many commerce roads were paved quite early in the 20th century, Norris community residents had to trudge through thick mud to get to churches, markets, barbershops, and schools serving the city's black residents. On any given Sunday, from the time the church was built until the Norris community roads were paved more than 70 years later, the front door of Mount Moriah would be lined with dozens of pairs of muddy boots. The roads were so bad that the only way to get to Sunday school without arriving caked in mud was to walk over one pair of shoes and change into another upon arrival. Electricity was slow to reach the Norris community as well. Again, it would be a series of grants, and this is, again, Ivory Moore. We have a ton of resources on Ivory Moore, and he is still around, and we have a number of oral histories taken with Ivory Moore. He was the first African-American administrator brought on actually to be the director of minority affairs, which didn't exist before then. He grew up in rural Oklahoma. His degrees are in agriculture. He's a little older in that he had several careers, that he was actually on the Harlem Globetrotters, and he ended up being principal for school in I'm blanking on where, Wichita Falls. So he had a number of experiences before he came here, and he also had a number of experiences writing grants. And so he became, eventually he was the mayor of Commerce, first ever African American mayor, and he continues to be involved in some really wonderful and important ways alongside Billy Reed, who I should show you. This is Billy Reed now. You saw a picture of him then, and see, is this it? This is Billy Reed then in Content DM. And this is Opal Pinnell now, and I showed you a picture of her then. Electricity was slow to reach the Norris community again. Again, it was going to be a series of grants that only a little more than 30 years later would eventually bring street lights to the community's dark neighborhoods and businesses. Sewage, too. Until the 1970s, outhouses were actually operational in this community within the community Commerce City limits. Really. But within a few years of NCC's formation, roads were paved, sewage installed, streets were well lit. Changes continued to be significant throughout the 1990s, and a good portion of these increasingly significant changes taking place within the Norris community can be attributed to integration on campus across town. Integration brought change that fed into the local community, and in fact it was university students who played a pivotal role in all of this. And one of those was Alan Hallmark, whose name I think I said comes up again and again from the lips of so many of the activists that are local. He says, and he was just here for a couple of years, doing extraordinary work putting together a history of the Norris community in the club that tried to bring it out of the 19th century. We'll speak by phone soon, but I wanted to share some initial thoughts. Here's, I'll just kind of I won't get started on this because I want to do this in the next